There was a little church sitting down in the woods. And at the church, they had a choir there, and they could sing real well. And there was an old deacon man, had been going to that church for a mighty long time. And every Sunday morning, he would always beg that choir director to listen. Would you let me sing a song? He said, I got a song that I want to sing. But you know what that choir director told him? He said, oh man, you're too old to sing in this choir. He said, you got a tremble in your voice. Heard the old man say, y'all might have to leave it, but when you get old, won't folks do you like that? When you get old, people are just push you all aside. But they went to church the next Sunday morning, and they knew that the old man wasn't sitting in the corner. And they went on back to church that next Sunday morning, and they knew that the old man still wasn't sitting in the corner. They get worried now. And they went back that next Sunday morning, and they know that the old man still wasn't sitting in the corner. Somebody began to ask questions about it. Did anybody seen the old man? Look at here. Is anybody learning from the old man? Finally, a voice just came down from heaven. I believe I'm gonna let Dad tell you what the voice said. I found a choir that was letting me sing. You know what I mean? Hallelujah, hallelujah. You know what? By the time they recognize the voice,
this song here take me back.
Everybody began to look up toward heaven, and an old man's voice began to talk to him. He said, children, one thing about this choir.
I love this song, man. I love this song right here, boy.
We don't have to wait until Sunday morning to sing.
I love me some Canton Spirituals. I love the Canton Spirituals, boy.
We get together.
Him and his daddy, before Harvey Watkins Sr. died, this was the song right here. This is my song. I've been singing with Daddy. I love this song, man. I love this. Make me think of my dad. My dad loved the Canton Spirituals, Mighty Clouds of Joy, Williams Brothers. That's who my dad loved, man. He used to. That was it, man. That was it, dog. But anyway, you know, I might have to give y'all a little bit of this one right here. Let me play this one a little bit. What y'all know about that? What y'all know about that?
Come on, put your hand right there. On my way home.
Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready for the Kings, man. Y'all ain't ready, dog. What's up, man? What's up? What's going on, man? I'm just having a little fun, man. I love the King Spirits. Y'all gonna make me play Walk Around Heaven, Mighty Clouds of Joy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't remember that. Y'all don't remember Mighty Clouds. Y'all don't remember that song, do you? Let me play a little sample for y'all right quick. Is this it? No, that's not it. This it. Time y'all seen somebody sing like that?
You look for me, and I'll be gone. I'm going to a place I have not been.
Y'all gonna make me, I'm telling you, y'all gonna make this gonna be a whole different video. Anyway. You right, I'm a country boy, straight up. Alabama bred and born, baby. That's it, country boy. Y'all can't tell the way I talk. Anyway, we got to revisit the niggatry, man. We got to, dog, right? So, my lady, you know, she works in a corporate environment, and lately her company has encouraged people to have conversations and things like that, because of all this stuff that's going on. Because the people that run the company are very liberal, right? And liberals don't care. They'll come in their business and push their politics on you and dare you to get upset. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you was a conservative and, you know, like they're asking me about the damn vaccine, I'm like, no, I'm not taking it. I don't think they know. I got to kind of hide my political views. You know what I'm saying? You have to hide your political views in corporate America because a lot of these ultra wealthy people are super liberal. And they are very anti-conservative, right? So that being said, they try to, well, we need to talk about the issues. And whenever there's a tragedy, we let people talk and all that shit, right? So needless to say, a coworker came in and was talking like, well, I mean, you know, I just don't want to talk today, right? Because my lady, you know, I guess you can kind of tell she ain't with that bullshit, right? So me and her talk. You know what I'm saying, about different issues and stuff. And she's very, I wouldn't say she's 100% conservative, but she's very conservative. In fact, I think in probably about another 4 or 5 years, she's going to be a straight up conservative, full-blooded. I already know, right? Because some of the questions she's asking and some of her friends, she's asking her friends and they change it. It's funny to watch this shit. She don't want to hear this. I think I had a lot to do with that. I take credit for it. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? But let me go ahead and get to it. So, bro, you know, a coworker comes in and he's like, I'm not in a good mood. I don't want to talk today. This is after they shot Micaiah, whatever her name, Micaiah, the girl with the knife, right? So they got in a conversation. He started talking about systemic oppression, this and systemic oppression that. And the white man got the system and he didn't have to shoot the sister. He could have just came and took the knife from her and this and that. And, you know, he could have, within 8 seconds of the video, he was supposed to know, I got to get over there before she stabbed this girl and take the video out. No, your ass got a knife. I ain't get paid enough. They paying me $45,000, $50,000. I ain't finna be wrestling with your ass with no knife. Now, that's the thing. So she said that. She said exactly what I said. And he was like, well, nah, that, you know, you don't understand. You see, you come from a privileged background, right? And so she's like, oh, do tell, right? And I don't know why they want black folks to get into these conversations in corporate environments. It's best just to keep this shit away from your job environment. I do not believe you should be discussing politics at work because people get too damn emotional. Now, this dude's very intelligent, this person, right? But they But he started talking about systemic oppression and how she went to this particular high school and it's a well-to-do high school in a suburban area of a certain city, right? And so she's like, yeah, but I stayed in so and so. I stayed in this neighborhood. It was a black neighborhood. I grew up. We didn't have everything. Yes, I had people influence me, you know, but I didn't have everything. Like my father was not necessarily around and different things. So it wasn't like I just really. She knew her dad, but he wasn't like that. He lived in Florida, right? And so the point I'm trying to make is he wanted to just, it's like almost if, what's up, Marvin? Hope everything going good with you. So it was almost as if he wanted her to embrace this ideology of oppression. It was as if he wanted her to embrace the ideology. And I'm finna get deep into this shit, right? Because I got pictures, I got receipts today. I got time today, cuz, right? So I'm not gonna, you know what? Let me maximize this picture because when I share it, y'all ain't gonna be able to read it anyway. So let me go. All right. So anyway, long story short, he's up there talking about systemic oppression, and the system is designed for her to fail and for people like that to fail, and you don't really have a fair shake, and it's not fair. And so, you know, that was the end of the conversation. She came home, told me, man, he full of shit, man. You know, he uphill. This dude come from a situation where his parents went all together, and he had a situation that was rough, but he made it, and he up here in corporate America doing well for himself. I guess he just thinks he's an exception to the rule. Well, I'm exceptional. I'm privileged. Atlanta full of privileged black folks. What does that tell you, right? I'm where I'm from, guys. I have friends that I grew up with, right? A lot of them went on to do something decent with their lives, joined the military, got degrees, you know, doing what they do, right? All of us grew up poor and struggling. All of us, right? And my thing is this, man. The first most important thing a child needs is a foundation. A child needs a foundation. Now, if that child does not have that foundation, you can blame it on the system all you want to. At the end of the day, you will not be able to fix it. Like, you will not be able to fix the lack of parenting in the black community unless you start changing the ideologies of people. And I'm going to explain this whole damn thing. So let me share my screen. Damn, what did I do? My bad. Trying to share it the wrong way. Give me 1 second. Sorry. So what you're looking at is a car that was totaled out in Birmingham, Alabama, right? This brother just so happened to go to school with my lady, right? Now, this guy is the owner of this car, is a black business owner. He is a car lot. He has a car lot, black dude, right? So shout out to Marvin. This is one of my students right here. Holla at me, LTV Academy. This brother making real good money working from home. Holla at me, ltvacademy.com. We're starting a new class on May 5th. All right. Now, that being said, this brother had a business in Birmingham. He's selling cars. So some little young cats want to get on his car lot and steal a Maxima, right? Stole the Maxima. Now I'm going to read you the caption. The top is blurry. I don't know if you guys can read it. I'm going to read it for you because y'all might be looking on your cell phone or something like that. It says, when you steal a car, he names his company in parentheses, and try to outrun the police and crash going over 100 miles per hour and hit a pole. The car was stolen 3 weeks ago. They even changed the tag. A 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, and two 18-year-olds in the car when it crashed. The 13-year-old was the driver at 11:30 p.m. on a school night. This is the question he asked. Where should your children be? Some folks got to do a better job of parenting, right? Now that's one picture. Let me show y'all the other picture. See if I can find it. Here you go, right here. So this the other one right here. Just so y'all can see. Now these brothers was riding this car. Look at that. Now it's a wonder they still alive. We don't even know if they still living. I might do some research and find out if these brothers still living. You stole a car. What's up, y'all? You stole a car. You went joyriding. And so, you know, my lady went to this systemic oppression brother and asked him, say, okay, so what do you think of this? Right? He refused. This is why the black community is in the predicament that it is in. I really strongly believe this. Apart from parenting and stuff like that, when fuckery happens, we defend it. So what this brother said was, but it's not their fault. It's the system. The system has failed them, and they're just acting out. I mean, these kids grew up in a situation where, now he don't know shit about them. These kids grew up in a situation where they need, their parents is probably not doing what they need to do, and you can't even blame the parents. I mean, the parents, it's the system, it's systemic oppression. This nigga said this shit, and and I ain't gonna say, she actually told me verbatim what he said. She remembered certain parts. This nigga in the first 30 seconds said oppression and systemic at least 20 times. Systemic oppression, the system is systemic, and system and the system and oppression, and they're oppressed, and the black and the white man and all that shit. And I told her, I said, look, when y'all have a company barbecue or something, don't invite me, because he gonna think I'm disrespectful, because I'm gonna tell his ass the truth. Right? I say this nigga worship the white man. She said, oh no, he's not. He's very militant. Like, no. Understand. This nigga is a remote control white liberal. Hear me out. I said this nigga is a remote control white liberal from some damn college or university. Because I be damn, at 13 years old, if I would have been out on a school night doing some shit like this, it would have been an end of me. I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd be dead. My mama would have killed my ass. My dad would have killed my ass. My sister would have killed my ass. My brother would have killed me. They would have killed my ass if I'd have did some shit like that. I'm not making excuses for niggas out here. See, that's the problem, right? We make these damn excuses for niggas when they do fuckery, and then we call that shit systemic oppression. This nigga literally said that it's not these kids' fault that they stole the car. She's like, wait a minute. She said, why? He said, well, think about it. What's good, y'all? He said, think about it. I mean, these kids are growing up in an environment of lack. So, I mean, she said these niggas took this car and was joyriding. They wasn't stealing this bitch to drive for Uber to make some money. It's 4 of them in the car. The 13-year-old is driving. See, I knew why they did that. They did that because if they did get caught, the 13-year-old, the one driving the car, technically the other kids wouldn't get in trouble. Since he's 13, he's protected. These kids are not stupid, number one. Number two, he said they just don't have access to knowledge in knowing what. Hear me out now. Let me go ahead and get a laptop. Not a laptop. Let me get a browser and open up a browser right here. Okay. He said they don't have access to knowledge. Right? What is this called? What is this right here? This is a search engine. Somebody type something in the chat. Let's see if we can look something up about it. Right? How about, I don't know, you type up something that I can't fucking find on the internet. Take your mind, they walking around with this in their hand all day, every day. These kids don't know what it's like not to have instant access to information. You can click on YouTube, go into YouTube. These kids do not know what it's like not to have instant information. If you need information for class, if you need information for everything that black people feel like they want to learn, tell me why you can't get it. Right? Show me what you want to learn. Show me what information you have a lack to. I'm the one that grew up without information. You regurgitating these tired ass talking points that white liberals believe in, and then you turn around and say that you hate white folks. Like, because he tried to be all super militant. Like, nigga, you a white liberal. You just a white liberal in blackface. That's what you are. You're not really for your people when you say some shit like that. These kids riding this bitch, rolled it into a pole, could have killed somebody. You going 100 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that shit. These niggas going 100 miles an hour. What if they to hit somebody and kill somebody, killed a little child, or hit an old elderly woman or some shit trying to cross the road? These motherfuckers going 100 miles an hour and kill her. Right? They hit a pole. I don't think they wanted to hit the pole on purpose. They could have easily just, instead of hitting a pole, hit a person. Right? That's the problem I have with this bullshit. A lot of these kids out here need somebody to put their foot up their ass. That's number one. Number two, I'll be damned if I let you sit here and tell me that this is systemic. This is lack of parenting. Guys, I'm going to ask you a question. If you were to take the black community in a vacuum, right, devoid of any outside influences, and you were to examine it under a microscope, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna see. You're gonna see bad fucking decisions. You're gonna see laziness, apathy. You're gonna see bad parenting. You're gonna be, and so when black people try to address these issues, you got them damn systemic oppression niggas jumping their ass in the way. It ain't his fault. It's not your son's fault. Everybody's going crazy over Umar Johnson's thing that he did, right? But people not realizing. Let me show y'all something. I'm gonna show y'all something. Watch this shit here. I'm gonna show you. Now, people don't like Larry Elder, but I've been looking at some of his videos because I prepared for this video before I did it. So I said, well, let me go and find some stuff. And so Larry Elder did a video talking about where's the proof of systemic racism, right? And you got all these white liberals that come into the black community or speak at these universities. I told you the university is the bastion of evil for black people and for the whole United States. The university system is destructive as fuck. I don't care what nobody say, right? Let's go to it. So this is Eric Holder. Let's see what he's talking about.
Essentially, a nation of cowards.
In a speech, Mr. Holder cited 3 examples of pernicious racism. Example 1, the push for voter ID. Rather than addressing a supposedly widespread problem of voter fraud, these policies disproportionately disenfranchise African Americans, Hispanics, and other communities of color, and vulnerable populations such as the elderly. But interfering with or depriving a person of the right to vote should never be a political aim. It is a moral failing.
Listen, I agree with you 1,000%. I'd have been like, come on, Larry, you full of shit. I have. Right? But just because Larry takes it too far, let's watch how surgical he is with this shit. Because voter ID is the dumbest shit I ever seen in my damn life. If you think, even guys, guess what? What they don't tell you, black people agree with voter ID laws. Like even black people do. We do, or I say people of color. 70-some-odd% of us believe that you should have an ID before you fucking vote. White liberals using this shit to keep cheating, man. And they're using black people to come in here and play our dumb ass, man.
Really?
Republican State Senate Leader Phil Berger denies that. He voted for a bill that passed on party lines.
Your state elections board said that they've only had one documented case of voter impersonation fraud in 2012. You say
The important thing is enhancing confidence in elections. This is something that is about making sure that when people show up to vote, they are who they say they are.
So blacks are too confused, too stupid, too ill-equipped to get voter ID?
Do you have ID, Norwood? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
You carry ID?
Yes, I do.
You know any black person doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has ID. Well, they think you don't have ID.
That's a lie. Why would you say that?
You have ID?
Yes.
I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so we know what we need to carry around.
See, everybody that I know have ID. Like, that's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
What upstanding adult not even upstanding, what adult right now, I don't give a damn if you're 60, 70, what adult, older people have bank accounts, older people, a lot of them still buy liquor, older people do shit, man. You can't go to the doctor and go to the dentist without pulling out your ID so they can make a photocopy of it. What are you talking about? Right? Now, this is what I'm talking about. But that nigga, will probably, I bet if I ask that systemic oppression nigga, he'll say that the voter ID law in Georgia was racist. I guarantee you, that nigga is a puppet for the white man. White man got his hand stuck up his ass and is moving his lips. Okay? That's what it is.
Know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Guess who supports voter ID? Blacks. Though many of the arguments for early voting and against voter ID frequently cite minorities voting access, non-whites' views of these policies don't differ markedly from those of whites. 77% of non-whites.
But see, Umar Johnson just said that same thing yesterday. The other day on the Breakfast Club, and black people are eating that shit up. Everything black people are riding that shit. They got almost 2 million views. Umar Johnson, that's what I'm saying. If you speak articulately, and even I never really listened to the end, he was making up some crazy shit. Like Look, I'm not a fan of Naomi Osaka either. I don't think she loves black people. I don't. I think she's Japanese first, right? That being said, I'm not gonna sit up here and say, well, she wrong because she not repping Haiti. And if she did, she can bring light or shed a light on the atrocities of what's going on with Haiti since the Haitian Revolution with America and Great Britain and all the West. And I'm like, man, that shit ain't. She just a fucking tennis player, bro. You giving her way too much. They don't even have a tennis team, but you want her to represent Haiti. Like she can't even. I don't even know how that shit work in tennis. Like I don't even know if you can do that. I don't know. So I'm not even saying he's right or wrong, but I don't think even if she did represent Haiti, she's not going to be, this beacon of light that's gonna free Haiti and turn Haiti into the next damn Cayman Islands or some shit. It's just like, come on, man. But that's what Umar was saying, and black folks eating that shit up. Like, come on, man.
Favor both policies in the quote. The next example of pernicious racism given to us by Eric Holder is the disparate expulsion rates of black students.
Oh shit, here we go. Watch this.
There is a new report that shows African American students are nearly 4 times more likely to be suspended from school than their white classmates, and that trend begins in preschool.
Eric Holder.
See, this is the thing, man. When I can make information say whatever the fuck I wanted to say. I advise you to do research. They tell you this motherfucker right here is a coon. I don't like half the shit he say. Sometimes he do say a lot of coon-tastic stuff, right? And I don't get offended and angry and not listen because a lot of what Larry Elder say is on point, man. Just like Candace Owens, truth be told. I don't get mad about Brandon Tatum. I think we as black people need to stop saying we run from people like this, but they give us valuable information that we might can go and re-examine shit instead of just saying systemic oppression, systemic oppression, systemic oppression, systemic oppression. Shut the fuck up. Listen. Look at both sides, see what's going on. Look at black people, examine our behaviors, our patterns, our attitudes, and make sure that that isn't contributing to the fuckery. And if it is, you can't. Well, see, that's called a systemic oppression too. So you really can't hold them accountable. Well, damn, you're describing a retarded motherfucker, right? You describing somebody that got mental issues that need to be addressed, and they so retarded they can't even tie their shoe. We can't expect him to tie his shoe. He's retarded. I hate that. I know that's probably derogatory. He's mentally ill. He has mental issues, so he can't tie his shoes. He can't function like a normal adult. Well, then don't get mad when they control your ass and tell you what to do. And a lot of us don't, if we really tell the truth.
Claims the reason for the disparate rates has to do with racism. Codified segregation of public schools has been barred since Brown, but in too many of our school districts, significant divisions persist and segregation has reoccurred, including zero tolerance school discipline practices that, while well-intentioned and aimed at promoting school safety, affect black males at a rate 3 times higher than their white peers in the quote. Here's the problem. Jesse Jackson sued the Decatur, Illinois School Board, claiming that they were engaged in institutional racism. The school board expelled some federal students after a football game for fighting, and Jesse Jackson sued them, claiming that they were expelled because they were black. The Decatur School Board defended itself by pointing out all around the country, no matter the race of the teacher, no matter the race of the principal, no matter the race of the school board, black boys were disproportionately kicked out of school for bad behavior. The district judge threw out the lawsuit.
Oops. So when he had to actually prove that shit in court, you can see clearly that shit don't go like that. With Jesse Jackson, this shit, I thought this is easy to prove. They just fucking with us, right?
For black. The Decatur School Board defended itself by pointing out all around the country, no matter the race of the teacher, no matter the race of the principal, no matter the race of the school.
See, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I went to a black school. So for me, when I hear people talk about schools, I can't relate. I'm from Montgomery. I know Montgomery is one of the most densely black populated areas in the country. So is Birmingham and everyone. So we might see shit a little different, right? But everybody I saw in Montgomery was black, school board, everybody, right? And they were still suspending, getting in trouble. I went to a Carver. We had a Hardee's across the street I went to a school called Carver. We had a Hardee's across the street. Some people, y'all might call it Carl's Jr., right? Bro, you know how many times I seen they had to replace the window at their Hardee's so many times. People was getting thrown through the windows, fighting, right? You had one time I was over there watching a fight because everybody ran, the whole damn school. School got out, the whole school just went on across the street because we had a tunnel that go under Fairview. Fairview is like the main thorough street in Atlanta, in Montgomery, right? You get on the other side, the whole school over there, they turn it. Niggas, it's like a battle royal. Niggas had like one dude had a spray bottle and was busted dude head. It was crazy. One dude got so mad, he took the damn car and ran up through the damn crowd and was hitting people. Like, this is the type of shit that happened that call. Nobody's never heard of it. But that's the type of crazy shit I saw, right? People fighting like that. That being said, all the teachers were black, the principals were black, and we had students from that same school that went to Harvard that actually got in. I don't know if they went because it cost money. I don't know if they got a full ride, but they did get approved to go there. So, we get a lot of excuses thrown our way.
Board, black boys were disproportionately kicked out of school for bad behavior. The district judge threw out the lawsuit. Moral to the story, maybe, just maybe, it was the behavior of these black kids. Are you really prepared to accuse teachers, the teachers union on whom the Democratic Party depends, are you willing to accuse these teachers of engaging in systemic institutional racism against the very students that they signed up to teach? Really? Now, disparate sentencing.
Well, I mean, I like this post right here because what they're really saying is, look, I'm upset about the taxes. I'm upset about, okay, so the shit that really affects you, you're upset about. But you voted a guy out because he's racist in his heart and you don't like what he put on Twitter. Like, this is the logic. What affects you more? Gas and high taxes or Twitter? Because I ain't even on Twitter. I got one Twitter account from like 7 years ago. I never used it. Never once have I downloaded the app on my phone, ever.
In our criminal justice system, systemic, unwarranted racial disparities remain disturbingly common. Disparate outcomes are not only shameful and unacceptable, they impede our ability to see that justice is done. A criminal justice system that treats groups of people differently and punishes them unequally has a much more negative impact than misguided words that we can reject out of hand, end of quote.
There is a history of racial disparities in the application of our criminal laws.
It is true that a black criminal defendant will get a sentence 19.5% longer than a white criminal defendant who commits the same crime. What's also true is that the U.S. Sentencing Commission says this disparity can be explained away by legitimate factors. Judges make sentencing decisions based on many legitimate considerations that are not or cannot be measured. End of quote. Now, another frequently cited example of the institutional racism that supposedly exists in America is the fact that would-be borrowers are turned down at a higher...
Let me say this. I showed y'all a video yesterday, and the guy was saying, I wish I can give you way more time, right? I think in a lot of instances, white judges aren't gonna show your ass no leniency, and they gonna stick your ass. Real talk. Now, I'm not saying that the justice system is fair, which this would almost make you think that that's what he's saying. I disagree. I don't think the justice system is fair towards black people. I don't. I think there's a bias when you walk in the courtroom as a black person and you've committed a crime that a young white kid probably wouldn't get as much. But nonetheless, you already know that shit. So you're without excuse. It's not like, well, see, this is a problem. It's only 2 million people in the whole damn penal system, period, in the whole country. White, black, Hispanic, Asian, everybody, right? So out of those 2 million, and let's just say half of them are black men, you still got another, it's 22, 23 million, however many black men in America. So the other 20 million, 21 million, what's your excuse? Well, I got locked up one time. So did I. I got locked up a couple of times, actually. I've been locked up maybe 4 or 5 times because I was broke when I was back in the day. I was struggling. So I got locked up a bunch of times for tickets. That's what they do when they give you these cooked statistics. They give you these weird ass numbers. You know what I'm saying? So you got to wade through this shit and don't let people make you get emotional with like cherry pick stats.
For mortgage applications.
According to a new report, black people in Baltimore received less than half as many mortgages as their white neighbors. Black people make up the majority of the city's population. White Baltimoreans looking to buy homes were approved for mortgages 75% of the time, compared to 61% for Black applicants.
True. Would-be Black borrowers are turned down at a higher rate than would-be
Thanks, Wes.
white borrowers, who in fact are turned down at a higher rate than would-be Asian borrowers. Now, are the banks discriminating against white people in favor of...
Now, this is one of the most myopic worldviews, is to think that, and I'm telling you this right now, I don't think mortgages is racist anymore. I don't. I think there has been more mortgage practices that were racist in the country. But I just don't think that shit no more. Not after I done flipped houses and made all this damn money flipping houses, making money doing real estate for years. I don't see it. I just don't see it like I used to. I used to see systemic oppression and racism in mortgages, but you saw that shit in the 80s and 90s. And what did you see? You saw certain instances of certain lending practices targeted in certain areas. You might even say it was all over the country in certain regards, but what they meant by that was that's open to interpretation, because somebody, and I'm gonna let him go with his piece first.
Asians, and by the way, Black-owned community banks turn down would-be Black applicants at least the same rate
That's a damn good point, Curtis.
as do the majority white banks. Now, when Barack Obama was a private citizen, he filed a class action lawsuit on behalf of 186 clients
Watch this shit here now. Watch this.
against Citibank, who claimed that they were not getting mortgages because they were Black. The good news is that he got a settlement. The bad news is he got a settlement. Obama had 186 African American.
Okay, so you saying that case means that you as a Black person can't get a loan because there was a case of redlining in California, with all the white liberals? Really? Man, that's crazy. You shouldn't have that shit happening in California, right? I think people really, let me tell you something, man. I believe Black people refuse to do the work that counts a lot of times. I just believe that shit. I know that's gonna probably get me called a coon. I believe a lot of us refuse to do the fucking work. We just do. T. Kelly, I don't think it's just a goalpost was moved. A lot of niggas is fucking lazy, okay? We just are. We call hard work. We don't believe in hard work. We study 30 minutes a night. That on average, right? We don't work as hard because I honestly think we're just as intelligent as everybody else. So it's not that everybody's better than us. We don't work as hard. There's no way in hell you're telling me that if you come from a Black school with Black teachers, then your ass should be going to Harvard and Yale. There should be Black schools pumping motherfuckers out to Harvard, Yale, Dartmouth, all the best Ivy League schools in it. But it's not like that, is it? Usually you got schools where it's like everybody's Black, the teachers, the school superintendent, everybody, and Black people are failing left and right. So yeah, there are anecdotal evidences of racism all over this country. You will always be able to find somebody from another race that hates Black people, and they're gonna do something to try to stop them. But I want somebody to answer me this question. Who can racism stop? Tell me that. That's what I want to know. Can racism stop me from doing what the fuck I want to do in America? Now let me categorize that question. If a white person was racist and they wanted to fuck me over, could they? Yes. They could fuck me. They can get me fucked up, thrown in jail. Look at Bill Cosby. But what I'm saying is, out of the collective of the 44, 45 million Black people in this country, is racism going to stop them in their day-to-day lives? Like, show me that. Like, no, most of the time, you're not going to get stopped by racism, guys. You know what I'm saying? What you're going to get stopped by is your own lack of fucking effort or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's just the bottom line. I have a respect for Larry Elder, and I'm going to show y'all why in a second. Let's keep going.
Americans in his landmark 1995 mortgage discrimination.
See there? You talking about an anecdotal situation. How many people per year get married? So you're saying racism is stopping everybody? This is one of them systemic oppression brothers right here. You see what I'm saying? Geechee Dan, with all due respect, brother. No disrespect. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna get disrespectful. I'm just saying. But brother, you think that just because somebody stops somebody from breathing, that yeah, racism on an individual level, listen, it's called listening comprehension. This is why Black people fail, and can't get over a 20 on the ACT because we don't have no listening comprehension skills. We don't like math. We don't know how to look at statistics. A lot of shit, man. And this is just a good example right here, brother. I said, and I'm gonna repeat it one more time. I said that if a person wanted to do something to me and he's a cop or they're in a position where they will. But I'm talking about collectively, all black people in America, right? If you work hard, will racism stop you if you're doing what you're supposed to do? Statistically, no. Usually what happens in that situation, a person tries to do something, you go around them. I'm gonna give y'all a good example. I ran into a racist home appraiser, right? White dude. I had a review appraisal. I had a brother trying to buy my property for $150,000, right? So what happened, we got an appraisal because we had a contract. But the house was 1,200 square feet with a 800 square foot basement, finished basement. So what the review appraisal guy did, well, he came in and said, well, this house ain't worth that. This house is only worth 95. So I'm gonna kill your deal. No, we can't do it. So the bank wouldn't do the loan because when they got the review appraisal, the guy said that because it was below grade, which means that it touches the foundation in the basement touches the side of dirt, that's considered below grade. So we can only give you 20 cents on the dollar of what you get upstairs with that is above grade. And I ran through this. And so I called the white guy that gave me the appraisal. He was racist in my motherfucking thick name, Rick Church. Don't ever use that motherfucker, right? White dude, older white. And I don't care if you get foreclosed on. Yeah, I don't care. He kept talking like, fuck you. Like I went off, we hung up on the phone. I'm like, this racist motherfucker. I called black appraisers thinking, hey, well, what's up, man? I got a contract. Here's a copy of the old appraisal. That was the first one before they did the review. I said, man, I need another appraisal, man. Because I had got somebody else. I got another buyer. And so I go to the to the black guy, and he was scared. He went to Tuskegee too. We both went to Tuskegee. This nigga said, no, man, I can't get this house up to like nothing but like 100 and maybe 105. I was mad as hell. I said, man, 105. I'm in the house like 97. I was mad as hell, right? So I said, look, man, I got my homeboy, he wanted to buy the house. I begged him, he wouldn't do it, right? So by this time I'm out of money, I ain't got no money or nothing. This is facts, okay? This is my second house I had. So finally, I go and I call this white boy. He's an appraiser, country ass white boy, right? Called him. Hey, said, hey, I got an appraisal. I'm trying to close and da-da-da-da. We want to close Friday. Here's the appraisal right here, right? I just need you to do a review appraisal. I mean, not do a review, but appraise this property. Man, that white boy said, I gave him the copy of the original appraisal where they said it was 155. He came back at 152. We closed. My thing is this. This is my thing. That racist redneck cracker by the name of Rick Church, that is an appraiser in Montgomery, Alabama. Don't fuck with him. He racist, right? That racist cracker tried to stop me, but he couldn't. Am I saying that you're not going to run into racism? I'll be a damn fool. I ran into all types of racist white folks that have tried to do all types of crazy shit. I'm not saying that it won't happen where a white person could pull me over and kill my ass. It could happen, all right? But statistically per year, we're talking about 50 people with the cops that are unarmed that get killed by the cops, right? And also, if we take that and triple that, we're talking about 150 people. Now, get you then, you say, okay, so you think black dudes would not do it for you because I have an answer. Okay, well, anyway, what I'm saying is this. I'll run into racism. We run into racism all the time, man. I have. I'm not a fool. I'm a black man in America. I've seen all types of crazy shit. But them motherfuckers ain't stopped me. I'm sitting here as an example. And the overwhelming majority of people in Atlanta that are doing well, black people, are a shining light and an example that it is not 1935, man. That shit ain't like it was 100 years ago. Well, we just was all fucked up except in certain pockets. You know what I'm saying? You got black people in Montgomery, you got black people everywhere that are doing decent for themselves. Now, if this systemic oppression and shit was actually working like you say, then should that be possible? Shouldn't every nigga be fucked up? Shouldn't 85, 90% of black men be in jail? Shouldn't that be the case? I'm not saying that I'm not gonna run into racism, but that shit will not stop you. I'm not gonna say it shouldn't stop you. I don't think no white man can stop me. See, I go out this bitch expecting to fucking win. Damn it. I don't go out here expecting to lose. My students, damn it, they win. They go out here and they take jobs from white folks that have been doing this shit for 8 years and they beat them out, damn it. We compete. Shit. I hate that damn you can't win bullshit, man. I hate it. I hate it. You know what I'm saying? I hate that shit. You can't win. The white man gonna stop you. The white man gonna this. The white man gonna that. Man, you might well not even start a business. You might not. Man, these white folks ain't gonna let you make it. I hate that. I despise that energy because what it does is it instills fear in people. And then you got motherfuckers out here like this dude that was talking about lady talking about, well, you know, you shouldn't blame those kids for stealing the car. I mean, it was systemic oppression. And it's like, no, them niggas some fucking knuckleheads. You got two of them that's 18. They're adults, right? Those are adults. You stole the car. You know what this nigga said? I mean, shit. Why he care? He got insurance. I hate motherfuckers like that. I can't stand them. That's why I told him I don't need to talk to the dudes. I'm gonna probably call him. I'm gonna tell him to his face, you full of shit. I'm gonna just tell him, you full of shit, brother. You full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about. There's no fucking way you gonna tell me that if I got a business, how many of y'all by show of hands, type of one in the chat, feel like, hey, I'm starting a business and you paying, let's say, I don't know, $500 for insurance, right? You might have in a business, your ass might have a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 deductible sometimes in business. Insurance prices are different for business. It's not like you just pay $400, $500 or you pay $100 deductible or some shit. That is the type of insurance. You get commercial insurance on a lot of shit. They want you to come in there with $5,000 down. So my thing is this, and a lot of times we saw this last year when they were doing all that rioting and burning businesses and shit, and you saw these black people crying because they was fucked up, right? Like people went at Trina, the rapper, because she was like, y'all burning down black business, y'all, and I'm here for it. And everybody got mad and, oh, she a coon. I agree with Trina, damn it. You burning down black businesses and stopping black people from being able to make and sustain themselves. And when you go out here and we go out here and defend that fuckery from these niggas stealing people's shit, that shit is indefensible. That shit is indefensible. I had a business in the black community with black employees who fucking stole. I went out of business. So you know you ain't gonna get no pity. My dad had a daycare. Chick worked there 6 months, was treating them kids a certain way. We let our ass go because she got caught stealing, right? Stealing money, right? She comes back with some goons or whoever on the weekend and ramshack my dad's daycare. That ain't no fucking systemic oppression. That's low character. That's low seed, low character motherfucker. And this lady was 60-some years old with gray hair. You look at her, she look like a sweet old lady. Ratchet than a motherfucker. And I'm supposed to sit up here and be like, well, I mean, it's not her fault. I mean, it's systemic oppression. No, motherfucker, you hurting the black people in the community that's trying to come in here and open businesses to help your ass. Right? Where I had my company club, that shit is a ghost town now. Ain't nobody over there no more. That shit shut down. I had a viable business in that community. You remember black folks over there? I had a viable business in that community. It was still kind of like a middle-class black community. It wasn't just, it wasn't like in the hood, but it was still kind of mostly black people live around there. Man, that shit, all the businesses shut down, everything. That's what get me. When a fire happened, a lot of niggas want to run out here and burn shit and act a damn fool and then shut the shit down, even if it's white on, right? You had a Walgreens with black people, you got 7, 8, 10 black people working in that bitch, you go burn it down, or you got a damn CVS or some shit, you want to destroy that. Then you want to talk about systemic oppression because your house is worth $20,000 less because them niggas burn that shit down. My biggest problem in my life has been niggas, not white people. I'm being straight up. And I'm for reparations. So don't call, I ain't no coon over here, ain't no coonery over here. Okay? But I will call shit down the middle. We don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It turns into analysis paralysis. A lot of motherfuckers, man, white supremacy. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna start a business. I'm not like what you got like. I remember the movie with Jamie Foxx where he was like, you take the drug and you have powers and shit. I forget the name of it, right? Powered, I think it was. You watch the movie And so the girl did a rap. She did a freestyle. And because in the video, in the movie, she was flunking, like she was a D student, right? And so she dropped a freestyle, and in the freestyle, she was like, the system is designed for me to fail, right? And I thought that shit was so ironic because every nigga will, once you hear say some shit like that, niggas gonna agree with it. Oh yeah, it's designed for us to fail. Well, why the fuck would you help them? If you're a white cracker, let's follow this logic, right? You got these white crackers in a room, and they sitting there trying to plan the downfall of niggas, right? And they're like, hey, let's make the test culturally biased, right? And then you know, because I don't believe that shit at all. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't believe in that culture bias shit. I don't. I've looked into that IQ stuff, and they said that's culturally biased. But even the test that ain't got nothing to do with culture, you can still measure intelligence. So I disagree with that shit. But that being said, I don't think intelligence dictates success. I know it helps success, but it doesn't dictate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, brakes helps you drive a car, but if your rear brakes went out, you still can stop the car. You're just gonna be any more inefficient doing it. And you need to start stopping, braking early. Lord knows I know, right? You need to brake early before you get anywhere near the intersection. I done drove with some fucked up brakes before. But that being said, you got to look at it, man. Like, I don't think black people are in a position to really be out here threatening that the system is designed for me to fail, so I'm gonna fail. Like, that's the dumbest shit. So you got these white men in the room, like I said, and they trying to design some shit for you to fail. So your dumb ass come along and say, you know what? They want me to fail, so I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna go to school. I'm gonna skip school. I'm not gonna do my work. Fuck it, because it's designed for me to fail. If I try, here come that systemic shit. Here it comes. If I try, they're gonna knock me down anyway. Really? Really? I beg to differ. I beg to differ. So you telling me if you go to school and you work hard and you do everything you're supposed to do, that the system is designed to get you, right? So you telling me that you can get out of college with a degree in, I don't know, electrical engineering from, say, an HBCU like Tuskegee, and Hewlett-Packard won't come give you a job? Because that's all I saw when I was at Tuskegee. Our career fair was popping. Hewlett-Packard, I'm talking about these students was getting six figures, some of them damn near, like 85, 90, fresh out of college during the dot-com era, right? And a lot of these students are making way more money than me, some of them. Right now, some of them are millionaires that went to school with me. Why did they make it? Oh, they was just lucky. I don't think it's luck. I don't. I think America per capita has the highest concentration of black millionaires for a fucking reason. Okay? You are in a country where you are blessed. You have all types of opportunity. You have everything in front of you. And you listen to people telling you that you are oppressed so much so that you can't go out and do any damn thing. You can't start a business. You can't. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
Discrimination lawsuit against Citibank. Half of them have gone bankrupt or received foreclosure notices. As few as 19 of these 186 clients still own homes with clean credit ratings. And
see that? And what city you live in, King Leo? Because I disagree with you, fam. I'm gonna tell you why. You open up a black business in Atlanta, and let's say you selling food. It'll be a line of white folks around the fucking corner. Go to Slutty Vegan. I tell you what, I got you. I got you, bro. I'm gonna show you something. Let's see if that holds true. Let's see. Slutty Vegan. I can go to Tassili's. It ain't just gotta be Slutty Vegan. It can be Tassili. It's a bunch of black businesses in Atlanta killing it. Chef Rob's over there on Roswell Road. Hold on, here we go. This restaurant right here, this sister making millions, right? Just selling good food. Just selling good food. What does it say? Slutty Vegan opens its third location in the midst of a global pandemic. I don't think black businesses fail because other races don't patronize them. And secondly, if black people patronize black business, we wouldn't need dollars from other people. You in Houston? You in Houston? Shit. Hold up. What that dude name? What's that guy name? The turkey leg guy that was making millions. That dude probably pulled it. Man, look here, man. Turkey leg hut. This brother right here. So these white folk be breaking bread with this dude, man. This dude making a killing. This dude making a killing. You can't know. I can't give you that, bro. It's okay. So you're saying Houston is predominant. Let's see what the white population. Okay, what percentage of Houston, Texas, is black? Let's see. 22. Wait a minute. No, let's see. Hold on. Let's see. People just okay. You talking about it's predominantly black? I don't think Houston is predominantly black. I don't. Let's see. It's 57% white, bro. 22% black. So nah, you're wrong, fam. You're wrong. It's only 1 in 5 of the people in Houston that are black. See what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I know because I looked at the census and it ain't, when you say predominant, that means over 50%. It's not. And his brother killing him right there. So even if black people was to support this business, that's all I'm saying. If black people support their own businesses, this brother right here with a city where 1 in 5 of the people are black is succeeding. See what I'm saying? So that doesn't, no, I don't think that warrants a situation where we can say that this brother is somehow, let me go ahead and go. See this tent, this brother be having lines all the way out. You know, you from Houston. I'm sure you done broke bread with him, right? I go to all types of black restaurants. I go to some of the best. Let me show you another restaurant. This place right here. Watch this. It ain't nothing but white folks now. Nothing but white folks that go there. But the shit, every time I go, it's a line out the door, out the front door. In Montgomery, we got a Jamaican restaurant called Island Delight. It's not, white folks love this place, man. White people, it's near the military and all that. Now, Montgomery's a predominantly black city, I think. I think it's like 55% black. That being said, these white folks be breaking bread up in here, man. These folks make a killing. This is some of the best damn jerk chicken you ever had in your life. I love it. Love it. Every time I go home, I got to get me some. This it. And this is downtown Montgomery. Ain't no black folks live downtown. They guess where they started at? They started on Air Base Boulevard in a little cheap $500 a month place. And white folks was coming off the military base buying that shit. People was riding from all out on the east side buying it. But shit is good. If you got good black food, white people will patronize your shit. I don't believe that. I'm not gonna let you get away with that one, fam. I'm not. I'm gonna have to go at you a little bit on that one. So like I said, a lot of us want to fail, and we want to say, well, we fail. I'm failing because the white man designed the system for me to fail. That's the dumbest logic I ever seen in my life.
In fact, one of Obama's then clients said, if you see some people don't make enough money to afford the mortgage, why would you give them a loan? There should be some type of regulation against giving people loans they cannot afford. End of quote. Now, another frequently given example of institutional racism.
So he just said that out of 186 people, only 19 of those people are still have their houses are in good standing and ain't in foreclosure or default. Out of 186, 19. What's that mean?
Is the alleged failure of the police to diversify its police force to look like the community. Well, in the case of America's two largest cities, New York and LA, mission accomplished. Look at this. New York City census. 29% Hispanic, 32% white, 24% black, 13% Asian. NYPD, 29% Hispanic, 47% white, 50% black, 9% Asian. Pretty diverse. City of Los Angeles, 48% Hispanic, 28% white.
All right, so I ain't gonna go into the police because that don't mean shit just because they say that. But let me go here and see what he's talking about. Let me see what he said.
Now, the LAPD and the NYPD reflect the diversity of their communities, and they're still being called institutionally racist. For example, in LA, from 1992 to 2002, LAPD had back-to-back black police chiefs, including during the O.J. Simpson case. It still did not get the LAPD immune from being called institutionally racist. The diversity did not seem to matter. Now, another example of systemic racism is the alleged discrimination that would-be employers give to resumes that have so-called African-American sounding names on them.
There is definitely a distinction between names for white people and names for black people.
Black names like Malik, Jaquan, Nashawn, Naheem,
Tasha, Shamika,
Shaniquas and the Nashons and the Kayshawn.
I know this girl, her name is Treasure, Trezure. Struck me as typically more African American name.
I like the names that begin with SHA, like Shaheem, Shamar, Shaquem, Shakur. Oprah, popular.
Now, what about the fact that would-be black employers were just as likely to discriminate against these alleged African-American sounding names as would-be white employers? And what about so-called white names like Gertrude and Penelope? Turns out those names also face discrimination. But more important, is it even true? And why are we focusing on first names as opposed to last names? One study did just that. One of the criticisms of the study that purported to show that African-American names were discriminated against was that Lakeisha and Jamal can denote socioeconomic class, and that employers may have made assumptions about education and income rather than race. So these researchers conducted an experiment using surnames that the U.S. Census shows overwhelmingly belong to whites, blacks, and Hispanics, without using first names to signify gender. The resumes from the fictional black applicants bore the last names Washington and Jefferson, while those from white candidates bore Anderson and Thompson, and those from Hispanic candidates bore Hernandez and Garcia. On average, 11.4% of resumes received a response from an employer, and there were no statistically significant differences across race.
I'm gonna say this, Brian. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I don't give a damn if your name is Watermelon Chicken Jackson, right? If you know how to code, you will get a fucking job. If you know what you're doing, you will get a job. I see it all the damn time. It's not just based on that. It's not. I know people believe that shit. I don't believe it. I don't. Not because I see students get jobs with black names all the damn time. I don't really care. Like, I don't think that's it. Companies want to know if you're competent and you know what you're doing because they want to win. That's really what it is, man. I know black people don't want to believe that. We want to believe they holding us back. I'm not that. Not in that. I don't believe that. So check this out. This is Larry right here.
Now, if you don't follow me on Twitter and Instagram after all of that, that's on you. Thank you so much for having me. Candace has invited me to several of these events. I really do appreciate it. Let me give you the quick Cliff Notes version of how I got into talk radio. I was living in Cleveland. I'm from LA, but I'm living in Cleveland. And I wrote an op-ed piece for the newspaper. This is about 30 years ago. And I argued that racism was no longer a significant enough problem to hold anybody back if they're willing to work hard. I get a phone call from a producer.
He said that shit better than I did. That's exactly what I think, if you're willing to work hard. Now, like I said, on an individual level, if let's be honest, I agree with what he just said. Now, do I think I could go out here, get a white girlfriend, and be playing like I'm whooping our ass near some white cops or some? Hell no, I ain't no fool. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I had a white woman and me and she and I'm acting like I'm choking her, shit. Okay, that I ain't no fool. You know what I'm saying? That being said, I'm not gonna say that that if you work hard, that you are not gonna succeed. I don't believe that.
Radio show. He said, "Are you black?"
So you kind of wrong with this one. You kind of wrong. That's not what he just said. Let me go back a couple of seconds. That's not what he just said.
I was living in Cleveland. I'm from LA, but I'm living in Cleveland. And I wrote an op-ed piece for the newspaper. This is about 30 years ago. And I argued that racism was no longer a significant enough problem to hold anybody back if they're willing to work hard. I get a phone call from a producer of a radio show. He said, "Are you black?" I said, "I think so." He said, "Will you on my guy's show and talk about this? You really believe that racism is not a big problem anymore?" I said, "I didn't say it didn't exist. I said it no longer can hold you back if you're willing to work hard, you stay focused, and don't make bad moral mistakes."
I mean, shit, is that not what the Black Manosphere says all the time? What did he say? Don't make bad moral mistakes. Let's keep going. Remember I talked about morality?
I said, "I think so." He said, "Will you on my guy's show and talk about this? You really believe that racism is not a big problem anymore?" I said, "I didn't say it didn't exist. I said it no longer can hold you back if you're willing to work hard, you stay focused, and don't make bad moral mistakes. So I'm on this guy's show for an hour. Now, Cleveland is about 50% black, so virtually all the callers were black. I was called in an hour an Uncle Tom, a bootlicking Uncle Tom, a foot-shuffling bootlicking Uncle Tom, a bug-eyed foot-shuffling bootlicking Uncle Tom, an Oreo, as in brown on the outside, white on the inside, coconut, the same concept, the Antichrist, and then I was called that word that you call a black person when you really, really want to hurt him. I was called Republican. A man can only take so much. But you know what I wasn't called? I wasn't called wrong. I said the number one problem in this country in general, and the black community in particular, is the fact that 70% of black kids are now born into this world without a father in the home. 70%. And forget about Larry Elder. Obama once said, a kid raised without a father is 5 times more likely to be poor, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, 20 times more likely to end up in jail. It is far and away the number one problem faced.
So, I mean, dropping out of school is probably going to fuck your life. All the shit that Larry Elder dropped, that's why I like him, because he's very knowledgeable about statistics and stuff like that. So I like listening to the guy. Now, I don't agree with everything he says, obviously. Like when cops do some fuckery and it's obvious, blatant fuckery, he defends it. I've seen him do it, and he full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you sit there and like he'll probably defend Derek Chauvin. That's bullshit. The man sat on the man's neck for 10 minutes.
In this country. Now, what's happened? People like Walter Williams, the extraordinary economist, says in 1940, only 12% of black kids were born outside of wedlock. There's some census data that suggests 1900, 1890, a black child was slightly more likely to be born to mother and father married than a white kid. Then comes the war on poverty. 1965, Lyndon Johnson argued that black people need to have assistance. Sent out a bunch of social workers literally knocking on doors, apprising women of the availability of money, providing there was no man in the house. We've gone from 25% black kids born outside of wedlock in 1965 to 70% now. What the welfare state has done is incentivized women to marry the government and allowed men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility. And that's not racism.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny right there. All right. So let me go back because he just made a real good point. Let me go back a little bit.
Apprising women of the availability of money, providing there was no man in the house. We've gone from 25% black kids born outside of wedlock in 1965 to 70% now. What the welfare state has done is incentivized women to marry the government and allowed men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility. And that's not racism. We need to do something about that. Was I wrong when I talked about the importance of choice in school? I went to a school called Crenshaw High. You guys know that school. If you saw the movie Boys in the Hood, that's my school. Front page article, LA Times a few years ago, 3% of kids at my former high school can do math at grade level. Not a typo, 3%. And that's up from 2% the year before. Now, what parent is going to send her kid to a school where only 3% of the kids can do math at grade level if that parent has an option out? And by the way, the school is a Crip school. The reason I know that is because Ice-T went there 10 years after I did and told me he chose it because he wanted to go to a Crip school. So now you're living in that geographical area and you're assigned to a school where only 3% of the kids can do math at grade level, and the school is a Crip school. And you were forced to go there. One party, however, wants to give you options. One party believes in choice. And there's a program called the DC Hope Scholarship Program. Google it, check it out.
For the life of me, I can't understand why people, black people aren't more, there should be more black Republicans. I'm being straight. Y'all must say Republican, fuck it. Not just conservative. There should be. If you just weigh out all the issues, this shit ain't even close, man. I mean, all you can say, all you really have on the Republicans is they say that they're racist. That's it. But the policies, shit. Low taxes, family shit. You want to have family policies, pro-traditional marriage, all that shit. Duh. Like, that shit crazy.
The test scores have improved. More importantly, the dropout rate has significantly improved. And parental satisfaction is up. Less violence in the school. And what it does is give the parents an $8,000, $9,000 scholarship that the parent can use to go wherever that kid can get in. So the program is cheaper than the amount of money they're spending on public schools. Parents like it. And guess who wants to shut it down? You know, in 1997, Time Magazine and CNN polled black teenagers and white
So
people.
you got a program in DC where they're saying that black kids are getting vouchers, which I'm a big proponent of vouchers. I love vouchers. I think that's the best damn program for education in the world, because not only will it make our kids, give our kids a fighting chance academically, it will also put us in a position to formulate a lot of businesses that are, because there's so many black people around here with degrees in education that's driving for UPS, that because they making more money driving for UPS than they were as a school teacher. And so you got a lot of black people that probably wouldn't mind really giving a damn and wanting to teach the kids, but they can't because shit, you know, you got, if you're getting $1,000 a month per kid and you teaching a class of 22 kids, right? And that's still a small class compared to, I've been in classes with 35 people back in the day. But, you know, let's say you're teaching a class of 15. 15 kids is very small. All those kids are going to get a quality education. And $15,000 is just enough for you to probably take $4,000 and pay all your bills and utilities at a little small place. And you making 120 something, or what is that? $132,000 a year, because that leaves you 11,000 times 12. See what I'm saying? That shit makes a lot of sense. So this would be great. And maybe you'll be out of school a couple of months, so it'll be a little bit less, but still, it just makes sense.
Teenagers. And they asked them whether racism was a major problem in America. It's 23 years ago. Not too surprisingly, both said yes.
I don't think a single party meets all of our needs. No, because I'm for reparations and the Republicans are against that. But if you think black people would not, if you had to go principle by principle, I guarantee, Brian, and I've seen you typing damn near all my videos. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate everybody watching. Let me get some likes, please. I'm just not going to start asking for likes a little bit more. But Brian, just about, you believe you pro-family, from what I can tell. You're pro traditional marriage. You're pro low taxes. You don't want to pay. You don't want to start a damn business. The government deserves a damn passive, to be a passive, silent partner in that bitch without even giving you a loan or helping you with shit, right? So you probably would benefit from the Republican Party, even though you probably think they're racist. But the principles of the party are what really matter to me. Now, is that everything you need? No, because I'm for reparations for the bullshit y'all done did. The country has done. You know what I'm saying?
Black kids said yes, and white kids, but both of them, majority of them said yes. But then they asked them whether racism was a major problem in America. It's 23 years ago. Not too surprisingly, both said yes. More black kids said yes than white kids, but both of them, majority of them said yes. But then black kids were asked this question: is racism a big problem, a small problem, or no problem in your own daily life? This again, 1997. 90% said no problem or small problem in my own daily life. In fact, more black kids than white kids said failure to take advantage of available opportunities is a bigger problem than racism.
Boom! I agree. And see, that's my generation. That's 97, 90, that's us. All the Generation X people, right? I agree. I agree 1,000,000%. I cannot be upset with what he just said. I think he's right.
That's 23 years ago. That's before the election of Obama and re-election of Obama. Speaking of whom, when he was senator, he gave a speech at a historically black college. And he talked about the amount of racism in America. And he said the Moses generation, referring to the generation of MLK, has gotten us 90% of the way there. We have, his generation, he called it the Joshua generation, have an additional 10% to go. I thought that was a pretty fair reflection of how much racism there was. 10% to go. This is before he became president. Now fast forward, racism, institutional racism, systemic racism, structural racism, use your favorite term. How do we go from 90% of the way there to racism now is pernicious, which is what Eric Holder said? What happened? What happened is they are trying to make you think like victims. So you pull that lever 95% for one particular party. Hard work wins. Candace gave me 15 minutes, so I don't want to go over. Quick story about my phone.
I almost named this video Hard Work Wins. I did. I love that. When I watched this video a few minutes ago, I was like, damn, he is so right. Like, hard work wins. Watch this. Let me tell you why I got respect for Larry. Listen to this whole story about his dad.
My father and I sat down when I was 25 years old and had a long talk. The talk I thought was going to last 5 or 10 minutes. We ended up talking for 8 hours. My father and I did not have any meaningful conversation from the time I was 15 years old to 25. I had to work for him. I didn't like working for him. He yelled, he screamed, he was moody, he was grouchy. We really had a real problem. And when I was 15 years old, I walked out of the restaurant, and my dad and I did not have a meaningful conversation for 10 years. Lived in the same house. Well, he didn't abandon the family. I just ignored his butt. And now I can't sleep. I'm having difficulty sleeping. And I know it has something to do with my father. And I decided to talk to him about why I had such issues with him. So my dad and I sat down, and I said, now, Larry, don't tee off on the man. Don't tell him about all the spankings he gave you, all the things he said. You don't do everything. So I sat down and teed off on him. You guys know how I can go. So for 10 minutes, I told him everything he'd ever done, every whipping, every spanking, everything he'd ever said to me. And after 20 minutes, I was out of ammo. And my dad looked at me and he said, is that it? You didn't speak to me for 10 years because of that? And I said, yeah. He said, let me tell you about my father. This is the first time we ever had this conversation. I knew my dad was an only child, and I knew his father wasn't around because I met his mother once. And we never got any presents from anybody on his family side, so I knew my dad didn't have much of a family, but I didn't care. I didn't like him anyway. He said, your last name? Yeah. Elder? That's not my father's name. What's your father's name? I don't know, never met him. Who's Elder? Well, he was one of my mother's boyfriends. She had a bunch of boyfriends, each one more irresponsible than the other one. Elder was an alcoholic. When he did work, he would bring the money home to his mom, to my mother. And then when he wanted on Wednesday, she wouldn't give it to him. She beat the crap out of her. If I stopped him, he beat the crap out of me. My dad said, could neither read nor write. I was born in the back of the house. I don't even know my birth date. I know the year, I don't know the date. My dad comes home at the age of 13, starts quarreling with his mom's then boyfriend. She sides with the boyfriend, throws my father out of the house, never to return. You're talking about a black boy born in 1915, Jim Crow South at the beginning of the Great Depression. Literally thrown out of the house at 13 years old, dropped out of school at 8th grade. I defy you to find somebody who had a hand dealt like that. I said, Dad, what did you do? For the next 7 or 8 hours, we're talking about his life. And he said, I went down the street and I walked down the road. It wasn't a street. And I took anything I could get. Ultimately, my father became a Pullman porter on the trains. They were the largest private employer of blacks in those days. And so this little black boy was able to travel all around the world, the country, and he came to California once. And it was sunny. People seemed less racist. My dad said, maybe I'll move to California sometime. Pearl Harbor. My dad joined the Marines. I said, Dad, why the Marines? He said, 2 reasons. You know I'm going to say. 2 reasons. What are they? 2 reasons. They go where the action is, and I love those uniforms. My dad was stationed on the island of Guam. He was staff sergeant. He was cook. My dad can look at a cake and tell you what's in it. So he goes back to Chattanooga, Tennessee, where he met and married my mom, to get him a job as a short order cook, and he's told, we don't hire niggers. My dad said, I cook for the mill. We don't hire niggers. He went to an unemployment office. Lady says, you went through the wrong door. My dad goes outside, sees colored only, goes to that door to the very same lady who sent him out. My dad went back to my mom and said, this is BS. I'm going to California to get me a job as a short.
We don't see real racism. We don't see nothing like that. We don't. Now, I ain't saying we don't have racism. We don't see no shit like that. Now, we don't. Because that'll make me want to slap the shit out of somebody. But
comes out to California, he walks around. I'm sorry, you have no references. My dad said, I cook, you have no references. My dad said, I'll cook for you for free for 2 weeks. Just write me a reference if you think I've done a good job. Wouldn't even do that. He goes to unemployment office, this time just one door.
California liberal racism is the same, bro. I don't know why folks think liberals just love black folks. That's the dumbest thing they did to convince black people, was to think that white liberals don't, because they'll say systemic oppression, don't give a damn that they really care about black folks. That's the biggest lie they ever sold black people right there.
And he says, what time do you open? She says 8. What time do you close? 5. I'll be here at 8. I'll stay here until you find something. My dad sat in a chair for a day and a half. She calls him up. She said, I got something. I don't think you'll want it. My dad said, I'm sure I'm going to want it. What is it? She says it's cooking, it's cleaning toilets and Nabisco brand bread. My dad took that job for 10 years cleaning toilets, took a second job with another bread company called Barbara Ann Bread cleaning toilets, cooked for a family on the weekend to get additional money, and went to night school 2 or 3 nights a week to get his GED. The man never slept, which is why he was grouchy all the time. 15 minutes here, half hour here, hour of sleep here, and then you come home to a house with 3 rambunctious boys. What kind of mood are you going to be in? So my dad got bigger and bigger and bigger during this 8-hour conversation, and Larry got smaller and smaller and smaller. At the end, I'm crying. And I said, Dad, please forgive me for judging you so harshly. He said, there's nothing to forgive you didn't know, but follow the advice I've always given you and your brothers. Hard work wins. You get out of life what you put into it. Larry, you're not in control of the outcome, but you are 100% in control of the effort. And before you moan about what somebody did to you or said to you, go to the nearest mirror, look at it and say, what could I have done to change the outcome? And finally, no matter how good you are, how hard you work, sooner or later, bad things are going to happen. How you address those bad things will tell your mother and me if we raised a man. Final story about my mother. My mother was
that piece right there, man. About the reason I like what he just said was because he talked about his dad facing a great amount of racism and racial discrimination in the Jim Crow South. Born in 1915, like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? The type of stuff he probably saw. This dude was born, he was 4 years old when they had the damn summer of 1919. My granddad told me about that damn summer, the red summer of 1919. And he was a little older. My granddad was born in 1903. Right? Actually 1907, I think, something like that. Anyway, my granddad, man, he told me about how crazy it was. So I'm not saying, and I always talk about this, I always say, guys, we are the Joshua generation, like Barack Obama calls it. I think we are. I think we're the generation that is coming into the promised land in a sense. We can and have. What's his name? Martin Luther King was talking. He said, man, I'm surprised. Now, this was in the mid-60s. He said, I'm surprised how fast things are moving. I wouldn't be surprised in another 40 years we have a black president. He said that in the mid-60s, right on cue, we had a black president. Now, I ain't like his ass, and I think he's full of shit. But he was able to. Now, do I think white people love my ass? Hell no. Do I think white people have prejudice? And when I come in around places, do I think they assume that I'm intellectually inferior? Yes. Right? I think it's a lot of shit that they assume about me. But can they stop me, though? That's the question. The systemic oppression is paralyzing the black people. The whole idea of systemic oppression paralyzes black people. It stops us from really giving a fuck and going out here and trying half the time. Most drug dealers, if you sit them down, and see, maybe that's the problem. A lot of us ain't really thought about this shit. I guarantee you a motherfucker that's out there slanging dope, go sit him down and see what his political ideology is. Watch what he tell you. Systemic oppression all day. Man, the system, man, it's the system. It's the system. Dude, but you do know you pulling the property value down with these junkies coming in and out of the neighborhood every 5 minutes. They stealing shit. They doing crime is high over here because you're selling drugs. Shit, man, I gotta get paid. I gotta make money. That I'm telling you. That's what it is. Instead of saying, well, shit, man, what do you need to survive? Because survival and getting paid are two different things. You want to get paid. I'm telling you to survive for a season and then you can get paid. See, the biggest draw to a drug dealer is in 2 weeks, I can have what it'll take the other kid 10 years to have. You take two teenagers at 15, in 2 weeks, I can have a nice car. I could be driving. I could be wearing nice clothes, sleeping with the best women, right? And then you get fucked up about a year or two later, you got a record. And you know what I'm saying? You fucked up. You go, your life is ruined, right? Whereas the cat that takes his time and says, look, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get my education. Or not necessarily college. I'm going to get whatever type of trade or whatever. And then as time goes on, you'll look and look up and you'll see and realize, damn, I'm living the life that the drug dealers wanted to live. I can wear the nice clothes. I can drive the nice cars. I can take trips. I ain't got to look over my damn shoulder. Not only what also is best about that, I can enjoy this shit from 25 all the way to 75. Whereas a drug dealer, yeah, he got his shit in 2 weeks, but his life is going to be completely different. Now he's going to have to take a different route. Not that he can't be successful if he wises up, but what did Larry say at the beginning of this video? People make bad moral decisions. And that's it, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Curtis. A lot of us make bad moral decisions, not just I'm a good person, I have a good heart. No, bad moral. You having children out of wedlock. You late when you go to work. You talk back. You don't have good character, right? You self-centered. You always focus on what people can do for you. You're not really coming to provide a service at a damn job. You're just there for a paycheck. You're not trying to make sure you do a good job, right? And I need to stop talking that shit because I'm upstairs when I need to be working. Well, it's still lunchtime. So good. I can take every day. I got like an hour to 2 hours where I can talk shit. Then I got to go back downstairs. But that being said, like I said, that's why, we call this guy a coon. But I got mad respect for Larry Elder. Mad respect. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to check this out right here. Go watch this shit here, man. Let me show y'all something. He did one with Herman Cain. Let's see if I can find it. And it's about, I'm going to just type it up here. All right, Herman Cain had a little snippet in here, man. And this shit was crazy. Let me show y'all this and then I'm going to head out. I'm going to just do this. I'm going to do this right here. Now, this is the dude that they dragged when he died. God rest his soul, and said he was a coon. I was mad about that shit. I was like, this dude is a motherfucker, man. Y'all don't really know Herman Cain. Y'all don't know the story about this dude. So a lot of black people, black men was out here. Yeah, he combed himself to death. He's this, he's that. I'm like, I can't stand niggas like that. I can't stand them. Like this man needs to be respected and studied. We need to study this dude. Check this out.
I had a college student ask me one time, how did you deal with color and race when you were climbing the corporate ladder? My answer, I didn't. Let them deal with it. I didn't focus on that. I didn't have time. I went to the president of the Pillsbury Company and said, I need to get involved in some other aspects of the corporation because I want to run one of the business units one day. So he said, we need a lot of leadership in Burger King. You have to go and spend 2 weeks in Whopper College. There really is a Whopper College in Miami. I graduated summa cum laude. I was working for the Department of the Navy. The same day that I started, another white gentleman named Robert started working there also. We had very similar jobs. So the first 12 months, I got outstanding performance 4 quarters in a row. Second year, outstanding performance 4 quarters in a row.
I like this dude. This dude was excellent, man. That's why I like him.
And Robert got outstanding performance. But Robert was getting his GS salary increase at least 2 months sooner than me. So I went to Wayne, my supervisor, and said, Robert and I are both doing a great job. He said, yeah. So why is he getting little increases quicker than me? He said, he has a master's degree. I said, oh, it's not because he's white. No, he has a master's degree. So you know what I did? I didn't get mad.
See, and I know this will piss off a lot of people. Man, you crazy. These white folks give people raises. I seen that shit. I seen it. Let me say this, man. Never go into a career or a situation expecting people to just be fair. I don't expect people to be fair. Now, he's going to say that they were fair and shit like that. And in a lot of instances, they are. Like, I'm a living witness to that. Like I just said, I got students out here with black names getting jobs, beating out the whitest of the McWhiteys. You know what I'm saying? White boy named Tom Becker or some shit. They beating his ass out for a job. That's how shit happens.
I went and got me a master's degree. Went back, sat down with Wayne. I said, well, I got a master's degree. I said, the next thing I'm open for a promotion. I said, keep in mind. See you around. And not long after that, they had a special project called Rocket Assisted Projector. They had to have someone who was going to be the GS-13 supervisory mathematician to do the special ballistics on this rocket assisted projector. I got the promotion. And I had 8 white people working for me. It was all about performance, not the color of your skin. So since I now had that master's degree and I had proved myself, I got the job. When I decided to leave Dowling, never forget the department head, and he called me in for an exit interview. I'll never forget Russ. I think he's deceased now. He said, you know, you have taught me something. I said, what? He said, I had never worked with a black person before. You taught me don't judge somebody by the color of their skin.
Tell y'all something, man. If you gifted, like my lady's very gifted at what she does. And man, let me tell you, them white folk love her ass. Now she still got her way of looking at stuff, But that being said, they love her. They make sure they give her all types of opportunities. They want to try to get promotions, and they do all type of stuff for her, man. Them white folks, they swear by her. And her boss, black lady, they swear by her. They brag on her and left and right. They love that lady. They love her. You know what I'm saying? When you're good at something, man, white folks love your ass. When you good at like going into these companies and you really good at what you do, and man, that shit is refreshing to find somebody that really knows what they're doing. Just like I always talk about Breaking Bad and Walter White. Walter White was in a fucked up situation a whole bunch of times, but because he was good at what he did, he was able to get past it. The Bible says a man's gift maketh room for him. You know what I'm saying? If you gifted at something, I don't care if you're the best electrician in the state of whatever. You gonna get like that shit gonna afford you some sort of cachet. Not only will it afford you some cachet, if you're enterprising and entrepreneurial, it will probably make your ass a millionaire. That ain't got nothing to do with racism. Like that's what I mean about racism. This systemic oppression shit where the white man gonna stop you. White man gonna stop you. Look, can a white person pull me over and shoot my ass unarmed? Yeah. I'm not a lie. All right. Okay. Yeah. But chances are most people in their lives, if they live their lives, aren't going to be shot by a damn cop. Okay. You talking about 50 people per year. Look, 2 weeks in Chicago. Hear me out. What is it? Is it 2 weeks in Chicago? Or is it two years? I think, yeah, I think it's 2 years. I think it's 2 years in Chicago will cover, I don't know how many people, that's 1,000. So you're looking at 50 a year. 2 years in Chicago will cover 20 years of police shooting, okay? 2 years. So just think about that. Or better yet, I'll give you another example. 2 weeks of abortions will cover 100 years of police shootings. If you really want to be realistic, just put that in perspective. We killing more babies in 2 weeks in the black community than all the cop shootings for 100 years. Let that shit sink in, right? So what I'm saying is, that being said, I don't think racism is the main thing. I think what's going on is, I think we need black excellence. Now, there are some things what a lot of people will do is say, well, the effects that we're reeling from racism put us in this predicament, and I will agree with you. The effects of what they did for up until the damn 60s is why we are where we are. Now, I agree with you. I can't argue with that. I think that is a big issue that needs to be addressed. That being said, I'm that guy, I'm that voice in the wilderness saying, hey, snap out of it. I see why you're doing this. Snap out of it. right? It's like you shell shocked. It's like it's some sort of explosion or something that's happened, or something traumatic has happened, and you in the middle of the game. Like say you playing a game, and a dude cross your ass up, go baseline and dunk on you, right? The crowd going crazy. You fucked up in the head, right? A lot of times, what coach will do, he'll call a timeout. He'll get in your face. Okay, he dunked on you. Get his ass back. Man, do this, do that. The game ain't over yet. Get in the game. Get your head in the game. And you take your ass out there and you play and you fuck around and win the game. You know what I'm saying? So what? He got a dunk. You won. That motherfucker season over. You heading on to the state championship. That's how shit is. I see this has actually happened. You know what I'm saying? Where I seen players get fucked up because somebody did a nice move or did something to them, and they gone for a second. Because that shit was embarrassing. It was humiliating. This dude named Ballo used to embarrass a lot of motherfuckers, boy. that nigga, one of the greatest leapers I ever seen in my life. And this coming from a guy with a 40-inch vertical. And I'm telling you, this nigga was something special. Okay? He was. Ballo ass was amazing. I'm just telling you straight up truth. There ain't no telling what that nigga do in the game. Real talk. That nigga go baseline. Motherfuckers all in the way. He'll just jump over everybody. Like, that's how he was. He will embarrass your ass. We beat their ass, though. Like, he got a steal against us one time. That nigga went down, and our point guard, Omar, was chasing him, right? Omar got in front of him. Man, this nigga Ballo got probably like one step past the free throw. I shit you not. And just jumped. It was sideways like Ron Mercer used to be. Had the ball behind his head. Floating sideways with just balled up in the air, floating past that nigga. He tried to meet him at the rim, man. That nigga Ballo dunked and tried to break the rim on that nigga. That shit was amazing. One of the greatest dunks I ever seen, right? The crowd went crazy. Even our team was like, damn, So coach called timeout. Now this is Omar. This is our point guard, right? Coach calls timeout. Omar up there, everybody. You can see Omar was just in a daze. Coach was talking. It's almost like he didn't hear him. And then Pat, our point guard, came up to him and grabbed him. Man, get your motherfucking, Pat was one of them dudes. He was a leader. Coach didn't like him, but he was the only real, between him and the other guy, there was the only two that played point guard, Omar. So Pat was, man, get your head in the game. And he kind of woke up. Guys, later that game, we was up. And we fucked around and hit it. And he passed the ball and hit a shot at the buzzer and won the damn game. And we beat JD, which was our damn rival. We beat him at JD, right? Now, yeah, Ballo got a dunk, but he won the game. Black people, you still in the fucking game, okay? You still here, right? Yes, they did some shit to us. I agree, okay? For reparations. They owe us for that bullshit that they did. I don't give a damn. We the wealthiest people in the country. We could be rich as the Jews. And the Jews is like damn near 1 in 5 are millionaires, okay? So that's how rich they are. I'm sorry. Small hats. I'm sorry. Can't say that. They'll delete my channel. So, because you can't mention them at all. If you mention them at all, they delete you because it's anti-Semitic. Just even say that word, right? So I'm sorry. I apologize if I offended anybody by saying the J word, right? But even if we were 1 in 5 millionaires, like that group of people that wear them things on their heads that we call small hats, we still are owed reparation for the bullshit they did. That's just righteousness and fair. You know what I'm saying? So guys, when you get dunked on or crossed up and Allen Iverson put the little move on your shit, Jordan still won the fucking game though. You see what I'm saying? You gotta be able to pull yourself together mentally. I'm sitting here, we're in the game. We still got plenty of game to play. What are you gonna do? Get off your ass, play defense, and be on the offense and be excellent with that shit. Play the game like you know how to play it. Don't let these white folks get you shook just because you think, oh my God, systemic oppression. Oh, he's so much. But let me tell you something, man. I remember I played, I transferred my junior year and went to another high school, right? And it was this dude that was like ranked in the country. His name was Bug, right? Willie. That was his name. I ain't gonna say his last name. And Bug is actually like ranked, was like the best, one of the best ninth graders in the whole country in our class, right? So by the time I left my junior year, Bug, he was good, but I started catching up with him. So by my senior year, I wasn't impressed with that. Now I'm like, shit, I can do what he do. Shit, I'm a big fucking deal. That's how I looked at it, right? But as a 10th grader, he was amazing. He used to do shit that I just thought was amazing. And so But you know, he played football, he gained a lot of weight, so he wasn't as fast, he wasn't as super athletic as he was as a 10th grader. And so by the time we played my senior year, I got out the bus and I was playing for another rival school coming back to Carver. And this nigga said, one dude came to me, man, Bug finna kill you, like that. I looked at him, that shit didn't even ride. I didn't even get emotional. I was like, really? See, let me tell you something. The reason I'm talking about that is because people will put fear in your mind. See, that's them telling you, man, the white man gonna da-da-da-da-da, he gonna kill you. But what he don't know is, I'm finna bring this fire on his ass. Motherfucker, you ain't finna stop me. I got too much on the inside. See, it's pride. That's why I don't like LeBron James. I ain't going there. I believe in fucking pride and what's on the inside. Who are you on the inside? Not stat padding, getting your numbers in the middle of the game, and then when it's clutch, you scared. No. When a motherfucker hits you in the mouth, what are you gonna do? I came to that bitch to do battle. I didn't come over there and we won it. We came over there and beat their ass in their gym. Damn so did. And I had a lot to do with it. I was locking his ass up. You know what I'm saying? But was he a great player? Yeah, he's a great player. But bitch, you gonna have to look here, man. We in a fight. You might come down and make a nice move. Ooh, bitch, you got to do it the next time we come down. You got to do it again and again and again. And you ain't gonna do that. I knew he wasn't that fucking good. I knew he wasn't. Like, he good, but he ain't that good. Like, he came down, he had a couple of nice moves here and now, but he ain't getting no dunk. He ain't getting none of that shit. I stopped all that shit. And we beat their ass right there in their house. That's what I'm talking about. It can be done. Black man, black woman, you can win. Don't let these people come out here and tell you about some damn systemic oppression is going to stop you. And the white man, fuck all that, man. You can win. You can win, man. I hate that shit. I hate when people say systemic oppression is why these kids did this bullshit you see over here. Let me show you. Because I talked about this at the beginning of the video. These kids stole this black man's car that owns a car lot, went riding, and he said, well, it ain't their fault. It's systemic oppression. Like that type of shit. Don't let nobody tell you no bullshit like that, man. Don't let nobody tell you nothing like that, man. If you don't believe you can win, you won't. He who believes he can and he who believes he can't are both usually right. So if you don't think you got a shot at getting your ass out here and competing with these white folks, then you're right. They're going to beat your ass, right? If I had got off that bus and that guy, man, Bug, he going to kill you. He said my whole name too. And he's like, man, he going to kill you when I'm walking in. The team was booing me. Because this is my school I went to from the 3rd grade to the 11th grade. So my heart was always still at Carver. My heart wasn't with Lanier. Right? I was only at Lanier like 18 months. Right? So when he said all that, I was like, okay, you know, we'll see. Because my thing is this, nigga, you're going to have to show me. You're going to have to stop me. You got to show me and you got to stop me. And I'm not finna, we going to work. I'm finna make this bitch bloody. Like, we ain't finna just be out here and it's an easy game. No, I locked up on his ass. That nigga had like 12 points. That's it. He shot the ball 20 sometimes. And they lost. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference. So, yeah, but guess what? He might have still been on paper ranked higher than me. On paper. But I knew I had been playing in this summer. I knew my talents and abilities were getting up to a certain level. I knew what I was capable of doing. And I knew what I could do if given a fair chance. If you put me in that damn game and you ain't blowing that whistle, worrying about texts and shit files, and we really just playing ball, which is what they do, shit, his ass, I knew what was going to happen. I left there knowing damn well he went. One time he thought he was going to get a dunk. Man, I outsmarted his ass. I was like, okay, we go chest to chest. Fuck it, I'm going to just draw a charge on you. I'm going to outsmart you. I caught this nigga at the block. He ran straight into me, like just because I knew I had played with him so many times. I knew what he's gonna do. I knew how he moved. I had watched him. I studied him. I knew who the fuck he was. I played at Carver with him, but because he came up and was playing varsity young and I didn't, he was coach's favorite. I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? That's why I left middle of my 11th grade year on the team, on varsity, and quit and went to another high school. You know what I'm saying? And so when we played them, we came to beat their ass at Carver, it was redeeming for me because I had already knew he was not going to be a better player than me. I just felt like I said, I'm going to play college. Now I went on to play college basketball and went overseas and all that. And this brother, he wound up playing football. I don't know how he was on the football field. They say he was decent, but I don't know. But he more so played football. But on that basketball court, he wasn't better than me that 12th grade year. I knew he went. I can imagine if I was still there, how I would have been locking his ass up. Because he had the same moves he had in the 10th grade, 9th grade. Same exact moves. Once you figure that shit out, that's it. He counts it. Anyway, that's how it is with racism, white supremacy, and systemic oppression. You know this shit. You already know that if you do, you know when the cop pull you over, what the fuck he gonna do. So why you fighting him? Why you doing this? Why you doing that? You know when the cop pull you over, yes, sir. That's why I said I'm not gonna give you a chance to say stop reaching for my gun, bitch, because we ain't finna wrestle. I'm gonna turn around and do what the fuck you tell me. You got to shoot me in cold fucking blood. That's what you're gonna have to do. And if you don't do that, I'm going to jail and I'm gonna bail out and I'm gonna be free. And that's it, because I ain't doing nothing fucked up. I'm not gonna give you that chance. See, if I went to that school and gave into that fear that he's better than me because he was ranked in the 9th grade as one of the best 50 players in the country, then all of a sudden that shit would have fucked with me, and he probably would have had 30-something points that game. But because I wasn't afraid, man. And I went out there and I gave it my all. And guess what? If he had 30 and I gave it all I had, I can walk up with my head high. I can walk out of there with my head held high because I gave it all I had. That's what my brother told me. He said, whenever you step on that court, even if a dude get the best of you, you make damn sure he knows one thing. He was in a fight. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? From that day forward, when that motherfucker saw me, he dapped me up. What's up, man? And it wasn't in person. He was cool. I liked him. But what's up, boy? We used to hug, talk. We was cool. You know what I'm saying? But I knew I was not going to be laid down like that. You ain't finna just lay me down. That's why when I hear people talk about the white man can stop me. No, motherfucker, the white man ain't going to stop me from doing shit. I remember I got in this argument at Tuskegee with some students. You only going to go as far as the white man let you. I say, shit, can't nobody stop me but the good Lord. But the good Lord, if God want me somewhere, you ain't going to stop me. What you talking about? That's what I told him. That's what I told him, man. Anyway, man, let me head out. Y'all have a good one. I'm going to go downstairs and get to work. Y'all be good, man.